This is my 240. It's a long-term project. It took me 5 years to get to this point, and I'm not quite done. It needs to get tuned, needs a front end, but it's pretty sick so far. I got a 1UZ Lexus V8. It's 4-liter, dual overhead cam. Came out of an SC400. I had to swap a bunch of stuff out to make it work in this chassis. So if you do go this route and you want a 1UZ, make sure you get an LS400 1UZ. The oil pan, the power steering reservoir is better. Like, it just fits in the chassis better. So I had to get a bunch of parts from LS400. So, but this was a really decent motor, good compression, good leak down numbers. Really happy with it. Feels really strong. So I need to get the front end on it and get it on the road so I can start, road tuning it, and then I'm gonna get it on the dyno. We have a tuner here, Bob for days, all day Bob, Big Belly Bob. He's going to probably get it on the dyno for me and fine tune it. So that should be pretty awesome. I built this thing as a drift car. Does pretty good at that, slides around pretty well. I got BC coilovers. I got solid engine mount, solid trans mount, solid diff mount, solid subframe mounts, all aluminum. I have polyurethane bushings in the suspension. I have a welded diff that I welded myself. It's loud, hot, fast, just the way I like it. If you look back here, I got a custom, it's actually a drag race fuel cell plastic guy. Made that guy fit. Got a vent, got a Walboro inline, fuel pump. I had to take the factory gas tank out because someone left it open. I looked inside there, and all the way to the bottom was a bunch of dead spiders, so I had to take it out of there. Instead of replacing it with another one, since they're plastic, they crack a lot. S14s have a problem with cracking fuel tanks. I decided to go ahead and just do a fuel cell, and it's working pretty good so far. All the wiring in this vehicle is custom. Chassis harness is no more. There's no more Nissan stuff whatsoever. It is controlled by a Mega Squirt ECU. That's a MS2. That's the one that you solder together yourself. So I built this ECU. Here's the relays and fuses, all nice and neatly tucked up under there. Controls everything that way. I have windows. I got wipers. Headlights aren't hooked up yet, but they're there. The dash is 240 dashes are really shitty. They crack. So what I did was I just stripped all the foam off and put some cheap truck bed liner, sprayed it on there. It works pretty good. My dash is an Android tablet that gets its signal from the Mega Squirt via Bluetooth, wireless Bluetooth. So that's pretty neat. eBay engineer filter. I made this little guy out of some scrap intercooler piping from one of these WRXs. Manifolds all nice and welded up. Got rid of all the EGR and all the emission stuff. What else? Coil radiator that I got used. Came with Flexolite fans. I got a couple ISIS suspension arms. There's the tension rod. I also have, I think those are Circuit Sport inner and outer tie rods. I don't know. I bought those many years ago. Don't even really remember. They do have rack spacers on the inside though, so I can get more angle. I don't have modified knuckles or anything, or lower control arms, nothing like that yet. Maybe in the future I'll do that, but I just need to get on the road and driving right now. People ask me all the time if a 1UZ was a good idea, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good idea. Because I mean, technically you get less horsepower than like other V8 swaps. I mean, stock it's like 250, but you know, it rips. I'm happy with it. Me happy. Plus, if I get sick of the power or the lack of power, got a little room here for a couple turbos. Maybe a little exhaust come forward, maybe a big one right there. But I got the factory fuel pressure regulator working. The factory damper's working. I made these -6 fuel lines. I think this is all Vibrant stuff. Vibrant hose ends and Vibrant hose. The wire harness. A friend of mine builds motorsport wire harnesses for a living, and he helped me build this. This is all like what you'd find on a real race car, because this is a real race car. You know, it's got Raychem, it's got SCL, it's all brand new 22 gauge wire, brand new connectors. They're labeled, each thing's labeled injector 1, injector 2, cylinder 1, all that stuff. What are you looking at this for? This is not the mil spec. This is not the motorsport race harness. This is the chassis harness. Still working on that. It's firing and wasted spark. These coils are from a V6 Toyota that I had when I worked at Lexus. A couple techs had these laying around. I got them for free. They actually fit. The back 6 of these fit the bolt holes already. The front one I had to make little brackets for. But it's fired and wasted spark. And so, you know, the opposing cylinder fires at the same time. And the injectors fire at their batch fire, and they're each bank fire. So these four fire once, and then these 4 fire once, and they go back and forth like that. Actually works really well. I got a pretty good idle out of it. I was kind of thinking that I'd have a hard time getting a decent idle, and it'd feel weird down low, but it feels pretty good. Really happy with that. I actually got the wipers to work high, low, and auto park. Found a write up online. I use an extra relay, so that way when you turn the wipers off, they come all the way back down and they stop. They park, they auto park, which is. I don't really plan on driving this thing in rainy situations too much, but it's good to know that I can. The brakes. I'm glad you mentioned that. These are off of a Sylvia S14. These are Mad Tight JDM, imported. They look just like the Z32s, but they're not aluminum. They're iron or something, whatever the opposite of aluminum is. But they stop. I think the brake pads are Hawk brake pads. Yeah, I bought those brake pads like 4 years ago. I don't even remember. I think they're HP Pluses. Here's my steering wheel. It's made out of rebar. I took a chunk out of the wheel and brought it together and welded it to make it a little smaller diameter. Weld the rebar on, and this is actually cotton, not cotton, like cotton ribbing, and not ribbing, cotton, like a wrap, and then I shellacked it, some amber shellac. This is like cotton ribbing, not ribbing, cotton. A lot of bicycle guys do this. That's where I learned about cotton ribbing. Those fixie guys. Oh, I got turn signals too. Turn signals work. No hazards though. So if I win in a race, I'll just have to like thumbs up or something. I have no idea. That's pretty much it. All right, that's it for my 1UZ Swap 240. You saw all the major things. It's a lot of work, but you know, it was worth it. This thing's fun. I can't wait to drive it. For real. Thanks, guys. B8, son.